Shekhar Suman.
Yes, sir.
Which one is the first name? Which one is the second one?
Shekhar is the first name,
Okay.
Suman is the second.
Reminds me of some actor. Is that true?
Yes, sir. Actually, my parents were kind of a fan of Shekhar Suman as well.
Oh.
That is why they named me Shekhar Suman.
Okay. All right, Shekhar. So, Indian Maritime University. That sounds very different. Like, tell me a little bit about your college. What is it into?
Yes, sir.
What was your?
It's really a different college, sir. It's kind of a paramilitary college. Okay, it's basically was founded by government of India to help Indian sailors to do better abroad. Okay, it was founded by APJ Abdul Kalam Azad. Rajendra Prasad himself.
Okay.
And it is a kind of paramilitary college in which discipline is of much focus. Okay, because in sailing life we have to be strict and disciplined. Okay, it's a basic necessity apart from the academics, which is also an important part, but discipline is one thing that is focused much upon. As you can see, there is a falling tradition which is on armies, okay, and things
So
like
do you think discipline is always value adding, and do you think even in the case of a manager,
yes, sir, obviously, sir. In every aspect of the life, discipline adds value to it. But in managerial life, I suppose that it adds extra value, as it can be reflected by the alumni of our college also. They are at the top managerial positions of the shipping industry. Our college being one part of it, a small college which has a batch of almost 100 is actually contributing to the major part of the shipping industry.
Would discipline not come in the way of creativity? And creativity is sometimes very important to solve complex business problems, we have observed, right? So would it not don't they, how do you reconcile creativity and discipline?
So in my opinion, discipline, we have to see discipline in different perspective also. If you see discipline in the perspective of those who are in army, then you can say that it is more towards what the orders are. But we have not to restrict ourselves to the creativity just because of the discipline. Discipline can be implemented in the daily routines of ours. Okay, that is what I think about it.
Okay, Shekhar. Fleet management experience as a junior engineer officer as fleet management. Tell me a little bit about fleet management. What is that?
So fleet management was a company that has come to our college in my 5th semester, and I sat on the placement and I got placed in that. I have done my training from that company only. Okay, it is a shipping company. A shipping company basically based in Hong Kong. Okay, its managing company is Elegant Shipping that manages the ships, the management, the sailors who are on the ships of the fleet management.
Okay, just explain to me the switch from this, very technical side, let's say maritime fleet management, and suddenly you are like into MBA. Do they need MBAs on the ship?
Sir, MBA and ships are quite much related. As you can see that I have also experienced that the shipping industry as a whole is not just about a few sailors operating the ship. It's about the whole management of the industry that is operating efficiently the working of the ship. For example, even a little things like US-China trade war affect so much of the daily profit of the ship. Also, we can see that the charter, the time charter, demise charter, all the things, the intricacies into the shipping operations are always present. In fact, our last semester, major part of the last semester was shipping operations and management, and that's what have driven me towards this management sector.
Okay, all right. So, Shikha, just final a couple of questions from my side.
Yes.
I just want to know about one instance from your past where you felt like really disappointed, and I want to hear about. Was there some incident where you really
Yes,
felt
sir,
disappointed,
obviously
and
it was.
how did you cope with that?
Yes, sir. The incident was after 12th. Okay, I was preparing in Kota for IIT JEE. Okay, much like it was a dream of mine as well as my parents to become an IITian. Okay, so it was not expected out of me, and I had worked hard to achieve that. Okay, on a personal level, it was so disappointing for me to not get into IITs, and obviously I was the fault of it. I learned during the experience a lot that I had not to become overconfident by some things and be persistent towards the end, which lacked. And
How did
because
you deal with the disappointment?
so actually, in initial stages, I was very much disappointed. I kind of went into a depression phase, but I came out of it. Okay, I realized my mistake and thought that it was not the end of the world, and I have to excel in what I have, which was a very nice thing. The marine engine.
What if you again don't make it a good B school?
Sorry, sir.
What if you again don't make it to a good B school? Like you did not make it to
So
an
all
IIT.
the incident that happened to me during that time has made me learn my mistakes and not to be disappointed. In fact, after that experience, I constantly focused on my academics as well. And you can see after that, I got the scholarship of 75,000 twice by the government of India, which was really a great deal for me, because it was like I had come out of the depression phase and performed well.
Okay, ma'am, do
Yes,
you want to
I
take
would
it?
like to ask a few questions
Yes, ma'am.
now. Okay, so every individual is different from other.
Yes.
What are those things that make you different from other candidates?
Ma'am, uh, the answer is from my personal level. Okay, I come from a small town, Aurangabad, which is in Bihar. I have come from a humble background. So, throughout my life, the focus was to excel in everything I did. Start beginning from my second standard only. I had to perform well, and my father's struggle motivated me to do so. So I'm always focused about whatever I do. Okay, so like it is something like even if something that is not too interesting for me, I try to put much effort into this and excel it. So it is the one thing that differentiates me from others. Apart from this, the kind of phase I have gone through, the paramilitary college, brings a different perspective out of me. Okay, I would see the MBA as a perspective of a industry, marine engineer, which is also a kind of a big management. So that also separates me from other candidates. I feel so.
Okay. Next question from my side is a leader different from a manager, or both the terms are pretty much the same?
I think both are kind of a overlapping thing. Okay, sometimes a manager has to show the leadership skills. He has to take a tough decision, also take into account everyone's perspective and make decision on it. Also, sometimes he has to follow the skills of following something. Okay, he does not have to be leader all the time. He have to follow. If someone advice is quite good and beneficial for the company, he should take this into other account. So I don't think that both are the same thing, although both are the overlapping things.
Okay, suppose you are in a situation, you are a manager and you are leading a team of 100 people. Now, if out of those 100 people, one person is there who is not performing well because of his ill health. So, what decision will you take at that moment? Will you ask him to leave the job, or will you retain him and will you retain him?
Ma'am, I would see this problem as not a permanent problem with the employee. Okay, this is not like every time he will be ill. This is a situational crisis, and also it is not his skills which are lacking or his dedication to the job is lacking. It is just the condition that has arisen. It is on a personal level. So I would not never consider firing him only on the basis that he is ill for a moment.
But the company is suffering a lot because of him. So what will be your step at that moment?
So can I take a second?
Yes, sure.
Ma'am, I think that obviously I will look into the matter more, because on the surface it is easy to make a decision, seeing what has happened and the loss that has incurred. Although if I see that the illness is quite long and it is really affecting, I might put him into the probation period, or in a duration of some time in which he might be able to recover. Although the I can lessen the salary, some things can be done.
Should the manager be emotional or not? According to you, what should be an ideal manager? An emotional one, or someone who is very strict on his policies and company principles?
I think the manager should be emotional also, and he should not be too emotional as well. Okay, there are times in which the problems of the employee should be considered on the personal level of the employee itself. We have to put ourselves into their shoes. Although we cannot let the emotional baggage of ours damage the profit of the company. Okay, we have to find a balance between the emotion and the strictness of the manager.
Is intelligent quotient more important than emotional quotient, or emotional quotient more important than intelligence quotient?
I think both are the complementary of each other. The emotional quotient, without emotional quotient, intelligence quotient won't make a big deal. Okay, and the former one, without the former one, the latter one won't make a deal. So it's like both are complementing.
So you have two employees, employee A who has a very high IQ but he has a very lower EQ, and you have employee B who has a very low IQ but he has a very high EQ. So which one you will prefer?
I think I would study more into the case. Okay, it's not like I will decide right on seeing which is the who will be the best, because both are good in something, but I cannot decide on the basis of this.
But you have to select one out of two. You only have one position left.
For
and you
me,
have
I
to
will
select.
go for the one who is good in emotional quotient.
Okay, thank you. That's all from my side. Ma'am, you can ask.
Shikhar, how good a team player are you?
Ma'am, I think I am a very good team player. I can explain this with the help of my example. Okay.
Go ahead.
In my second year, I was a part of the Tempest team member. Although being in the second year, I could not organize it on my own, because third year is actually responsible for organizing it. So I was kind of helping seniors in marketing, finance, as well as in organizing all the things which are required. Okay, just like handling a fashion show, the requirements of a fashion show. So I was helping them. So in this case, I am playing a team member. Also in my third year, I was a technical team member of the same. So in that also, I had organized a team member. Although being a part of the technical team member, I was participating into the marketing team as well. So it's like I was backing up my team.
Okay, suppose you get shortlisted. Do you have any idea what we would expect of you over the next 2 years?
I think I would like to explore more regarding my interest, which obviously is inclined towards operations, because that's what I have seen from the marine industry. Okay, so I would be exploring a little bit more about that field. Also, I would not be blinded towards the other fields. It's just that on the academic level, I am familiar with the operations. So I would be exploring myself, and I would be academically achieving a lot, because as you can see in my records in the college days as well, I have been performing well in my academics.
Are you a front bencher or a last bencher?
Ma'am, I am a front bencher.
So then how can you be good in extracurricular and co-curricular?
So, ma'am, it's
Because front benchers are generally the geeks kind, the boring people.
it is kind of I think it would not be correct to just be biased towards the front bencher. Many front bencher are also involved in the extracurricular activity. Just preferring a position in the class, sitting arrangement in the class, won't make you boring. So
Okay.
I think it's the personal choice and not rather the cliched thing.
What was your percentile
My percentile
in the exam?
my percentile in the exam was 96.9 percentile.
Okay, who is happier by your achievement, by your success, your parents or you?
Obviously I'm a lot too much happy, a lot happy about it.
Okay.
But my parents are happier about it.
Because I remember you had mentioned that you come from a very humble background and
Yes,
from a
ma'am.
small place.
Yes, ma'am.
And your parents have faced some struggles earlier, as you had said,
Yes, ma'am.
right?
Yes,
So that's why I'm asking you. I mean, they must be on cloud nine. So you are saying that you are happier about your
Yes, ma'am.
success.
No, ma'am. I'm saying I'm quite happy about my success, but definitely my parents are more happy toward
They are
because of
happier.
it.
Okay. One last question from my end. I was just thinking, like, let's say tomorrow, after a year, you change your mind suddenly, or let's say you realize suddenly that this is not your calling. I mean, MBA, you made a wrong decision of joining this particular institution, and maybe you get inclined towards something else after a year. What would you do in that case? Would you continue with the second year, or would you kind of follow your heart and leave the institution for your eventual calling? What would you do?
I think I would answer this question by stating why did I choose to be in the MBA.
Okay, go ahead.
If my choice of for MBA is quite determined, then I think there are minimal chances of me to not like this subject.
Okay.
Okay. The first reason was being the alumni, being the part of the college, which has contributed a lot to the shipping industry. In fact, the general manager of Sulzer and Wärtsilä, which is the greatest provider of second two-stroke engines, is the our college alumnus. Okay, he also came into our college. Our alumni has always motivated me to pursue this field. Also, in my last semester, so the subject shipping operation and management and the case studies regarding this quite interested me. I was too much invested into this that I personally have done a few case studies regarding the US-China war and the effect of it on the shipping industry.
Okay.
Also, because of my participation in the annual fest regularly, I think I have the capabilities and the interest to pursue my MBA. So these things as a whole, I think makes me quite determined to be the part of
To complete your MBA.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. That's all from my end. I think
From my as well.
Yes.
that would be all.
Thank you,
so
Shekhar.
much.
Thank
Wish
you
you all
very
the
much.
best.
Thank you,
so
sir.
much.
So, hello everyone. We just had a mock interview with Shekhar Suman, and these are some key takeaways from his interview and the areas of improvement for him. So, first of all, when he was asked that what is the difference between a leader and a manager, so he did not discuss the differences between leader and manager. He just talked about the similarities, how they are similar, and how they overlap in certain aspects. He should have addressed the question properly. That's one. Second, he was also asked the question about, like, let's say you have an employee who has high EQ and low IQ, and the other one who has high IQ and low EQ. He said that he went on the lines of that. Probably I'll need more data, which was okay. It's good to look for data, but he did not give a proper answer. He did not give a satisfactory answer, which could have been that a high EQ and low IQ person would probably be better in a situation where team management is required, where more generalized tasks are required. On the other hand, a person who has a higher IQ but less EQ would probably do well in a position which is more specialized, which is more siloed, right? So you need to have the ability to think on your mind and address these questions more satisfactorily. Next, at the end, Shabana ma'am had asked him the question that let's suppose midway during your MBA course, after 1 year you realize that this is not your calling. What would you do? What would you do in that case? He actually essentially invalidated the question by saying that, well, that's not going to happen because of my past experiences, I'm pretty sure about it that this is what I want to do. Yes, it might sound motivating and determined in nature, but it also does kind of invalidate the question by the interviewer, and might in some cases, certain cases, might even seem a little tad bit impolite. How it could have been rather answered is, ma'am, I rather go by the calling of finish what you started. I always believe, irrespective of, if once I've made a decision, I would rather want to finish what I started, and then maybe move on to other areas that interest me, right? So that would have been a more positive answer to the question without invalidating the question itself. So these are the key takeaways from Shekhar's interview, and well, we'll be coming up with more takeaways from other interviews for your preparation for GDPI. And well, do subscribe to the channel and stay tuned.